If you play chess, which I assume you do, you probably play on chess.com. And did you know that in chess.com you actually have a chat feature? I wouldn't blame you if it went over your head that there was one, because it's really not clear and it's not really something you need to, play the game. But it is there, and when someone types to you, you need to accept to see their chat message. Now, whenever I see that someone is trying to message me in the middle of the game, I know better than to press OK on it, alright? It's probably some fucking BM because you're freaking losing and you just blundered your queen, and it's probably not gonna, improve your playing, He's not gonna tell you how to checkmate him, right? That is usually not what is sent in those chat messages. But every once in a while, I get curious. I'm sitting there like, I don't know what move to make next, and I press OK on it. And today we're gonna see a game where I decided to press OK to a chat message. So without further ado, let's just jump straight in the game. So this was during me practicing with the Carol Khan last week. I didn't show this game last week, I'm 90% sure. And it opens up pretty standard, c6, d5. And here I probably could have taken, but I didn't. He takes first, that's fine. I retake, I know what to do. Or at least I pretend I know what to do. And, we open up, get our bishops out. Now, once again, I fucked up with the bishop. The bishop is supposed to go to pin his, knight to his queen. I don't know why that's so hard for me to remember, but I do correct my mistake. He brings out his other bishop. I push pawns. Apparently that is an inaccuracy. Getting your knight out is priority. Developing. Understandable. Now it's in this position that I see a very dangerous thing. I see him going here, and he has his bishop here. And I'm thinking, okay, I see it. And I'm like, okay, how do we prevent disaster from happening? Can I, it takes me a while to figure this out. I can't go up here because then takes, and then I can't retake with this because of this. Now, I cannot really go here because that doesn't really block anything from, if I move here, then he's still able to move here, even though I'm able to take him. And he could also just move here. So that wouldn't help either. And I'm thinking all these different moves, and I kind of know in my heart of hearts, I know that I have to move this knight. But I can't move it here, since that allows him to go here, and I can't move here. So, only conclusion is, I need to move up here. And if you notice my time, this move took me 2 minutes to find, but it is the best move on the board. Now, in this position, I see that my opponent wants to chat with me. And you know what he says to me? He says, play, bro. He is impatient. He doesn't want me to, think 2 minutes on my moves. I get it. But now I'm also like, all right, I got to beat this guy's fucking ass. All right, so let's see how I do it. He cancels. I get my bishop out, finishing my development. Now I only need to get my queen out, and then I can castle on whatever side I want. Now he decides to push my bishop back, but always when I, pin this, it's always my plan to take the knight. Now he's very helpful in, his ass whooping here. I could have moved back and then had an escape here, but that's no fun because he helps me by ruining his pawn structure. Very nice. Now I castle here because I just weakened this side over here. He's probably going to have a hard time pushing over here. So I'm like, okay, I can, create a strong center for my king that rivals anything he can do with pushing pawns. Had I pushed this side, then there's this open file, and also, he has his pawn structure ready to push. So, reason for castling over here. He then makes a bunch of inaccuracies, he needs to develop, protect his center, do something. I decide to move my knight because I'm seeing, I can attack this, or I can move here somehow if I can set it up nicely. Rooks are forkable. I just love when my board is extremely forkable, right? But he decides to push me away. I'm like, all right, that's fine. And then he's like, you know what I really like? I really like to f myself in the No, I can't talk. He decides to ask, where does my knight go? And I'm answering, it goes and take your bishop. How do you take back? Magnifica. Very nice. I mean, if this guy maybe spent a little more than 2 seconds on his move, he could probably see that he could take with his queen. But this guy's an impatient man. You know, he's busy. He wants me to play. I can't think about my moves in more than a few minutes. You know, I decide to push his knight away. It goes in. Absolutely free. Almost. There's a little trap here. But that was what I was, prepared to stop him in. And now I just move my rook. And he gets to take my pawn. That's fine. I just retake and, completely restore my center. He also opens up for my rook. So all that was pretty nice. And as you can see on the elo bar, he's lost all hope. And spoiler alert, it stays like this. I do see that he can take a pawn here. So he does win a pawn, but traded it for a knight. I'm not sure that's worth it, if I know my chess correctly. So now I move my knight. I'm thinking, okay, he can really move into this position and annoy some folks here. So, of course, he needs to move. And, I could probably have taken here, but I really want my knight to, be in a powerful position, I'm thinking. So, because I need my knight to get, like, these double pawns out of the way. Decide to take. He doesn't retake. And now there's a very, very juicy fork on the board. In just a few moves, if I take the queen here, that's a complete miss, Not really great from him. And in this position, there's an amazing fork right here. One of the best kinds there is. Triple fork, king, rook, and bishop. But I'm too hungry on these double pawns, so I go in after them instead. A shame. But, sometimes how it is. I get my revenge. I just keep gobbling up his pawns. I also don't see his free bishop, but I mean, it's not completely free, but it's definitely advantages of me to just get the pieces off the board, decomplicate the game. And, he retakes. I don't know why this is such an accuracy. It's the same idea that I'm, executing. Maybe it's because you're also able to go over here in case he pushes his pawn. It probably is. And then it's also protected by the knight. Anyways, he tries to ladder up his bros over here. I make a great move here, taking the pawn with a check, and there's a mate in 7 on the board. I completely miss it, and now there's a mate in 8. But, and now there's a mate in 9, This number usually goes down, not up, But I just decide, I need to clean this guy of everything he has. I have a minute left on the clock. I'm not worried because there's no way I'm going to blunder this. He blunders his rook. Now I see the fork and I take. He can't retake because my rook is defending. Now he's, threatening to take this, but, pawns are not really that important for me. And I spot that I can just move in for the kill. And in this position, I decide to act like a complete jackass. And I ask him, "You saying?" Had he asked me for a rematch, I would have said no, right on the spot, That was purely just for show. That was not...
Raindrops are falling on my head, and just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling.